Can head you to Melbourne now and have a look towards Saturday's Caulfield meeting with Craig Williams, who was pretty good to us last time we had you on, Craig. Geez, you've been busy. I've seen a lot of rides lately and a lot of rides for Saturday. How are you coping?
Well, my media manager, Maria McEwen, did say we had 3 winners after we spoke to you guys over there. So she says, you better make sure when they invite you on, you better jump straight on. But you haven't done one thing. I still haven't got my cap. I mean, my jacket. I'm still feeling a bit cold over in Melbourne. I've got 2 layers on, so it would be nice for my Kato stud to actually help us out by setting us a nice warm jacket.
Well, if that's not a good enough push from Mark Chittick, I don't know what is. Let's rip through your rides for Saturday. Jumbo Ozaki takes you off in the first for Danny O'Brien. What are you thinking of the chances here?
He's had his 9 starts. He's never been out of the top 3. He's been really well managed and placed, and he has been a work in progress. But this is a really competitive benchmark 78 race, but he's the horse they have to beat. He's quite versatile, even though when you watch his runs, his preparation, he's always been on speed. But I trialled him at the start of the preparation, and if the track was even favourable to run on, he's a really good chasing horse as well. The only question mark we've got would be Caulfield, but he has competed really well at Mornington, which is a really tough track. So other than that, he's got the form that they all have to beat him.
Okay, like that. Move you on to the second. Pure Scott draws nicely in barrier 2 for the Lindsay Park team.
She's badly weighted. She's only small. She won one of these money races because they're restricted races. The Avobus Gold race here. So there's a lot of money on for horses that Avobus Gold, which is a great incentive through the owners and breeders for Victoria Racing. And there's 2 races on the day that actually you have to be Victorian bred. So she's already won a big money race. So she got the penalty of that. She did race well second up. She has got a very favourable economical barrier that should put her there for a long time, but it is a competitive race.
Okay, your third ride is Miss Vixen. Again, you could draw nicely. This one prepared by Cindy Alderson. Your thoughts?
She has the blinkers going on the first time. They haven't been 100% happy with her in her preparation. We only got the ride late until they galloped and then they were happy to go. But she did run second in this race to me last year with Iconoclasm. So she can produce a really good run. If she does produce that run, she'll be very competitive.
Okay, next one to go is the Mark Cabinet trained Big Brew, whose form's been really good. Winner at Sandown, 3 starts back and a pretty encouraging second there last time out. Looks to be a decent prospect, Craig.
He does. He's drawn wide, so I think we'll have to see how much work we have to do from the barrier draw or where we end up, what my instructions are. Unfortunately, because it's such big money, we're running into a horse like Mr. Quickie, who's very well treated at the set weights and penalties of the conditions of today's race. But away from that, Big Brew's going really well through his rating, but I expect him to run really well. But like I said, you got horses like Mr. Quickie in the race.
Okay, you spoke about Iconoclasm, a good second last time out in that Golden Mile, and looks to be one of your best prospects on the day, I would have thought.
Yes, I think they target him. They'd love to set him up and be a Group 1 horse, and he's just failed when he's measured up to Group 1 tasks. His first up run, I rode him. He came out quite tardy, and he's back amongst them. And because he's an entire, he didn't really give us much of a run. But last start, when he's out and free rolling in a really tough race at Bendigo, I thought he's really good. So if he holds that form, he's going to take a lot of beating.
Okay, 2-year-old filly Chrome Angel, your next, who was a debut winner at Bendigo. Just a tricky barrier draw. How do you combat that?
At least Caulfield, for the shoot, it is 1 turn and home. The last 3 meetings at Caulfield, it's been very favourable to be on speed and close to the running rail. So they've moved the rail out from the true position to 3 metres. I've got a concern to say 3 to 9 might be the spot rather than being wide where they've raced on heavy ground or inside. So it's going to be interesting how the track plays and how Mother Nature provides us with her usual entertainment as well, because that track Caulfield can be affected by the weather. But if the track's playing fairly and evenly, it is only 1 turn at home. So sometimes it's best just not to complicate it. But it is a tricky draw for a horse that's only had the 1 start. But she was impressive in her first up performance.
Yeah, exactly. Race 7, you're on From Within for Danny O'Brien. Once again, you haven't got the best of barriers here.
No, but she's a speedy horse. I haven't seen her replay yet, and I believe she's tried extremely well, and she's very fast. So she might be able to offset that barrier draw, but she's coming down from Toby Edwards from Queensland, so she's not going to have warm weather. But she, on her day, and she's a course and distance winner, so it does give me confidence to do it with her. But my manager said she's tried up extremely well. He's happy to take the ride.
Okay, yeah, heavy track second placing last time out from Knowles, and you draw nicely in the next, and was a winner at Ballarat a couple of starts back. Looks to be a form runner.
She's always been a nice filly, big, strong, imposing filly. Her first up trial before she won first up this preparation was very dominant, and horses have come out and won multiple races from that jump out. She then went and dominated a small field, but looked really strong and good at Ballarat. And then she stepped up to Caulfield. And that was one of the days where they couldn't win away from the running rail, and her barrier was wide. She drew the second or outside barrier. She was one that defied the pattern to finish as close as what she did into second. So I actually chased up for this ride. Delighted to get this ride because there was options of sending her to Adelaide for some black type for breeding purposes because Rose might own her. But delighted for her to turn up in this big money race. And she's going to take a lot of beating, especially from the inside barrier.
Okay, I like that. And your last is aboard Fundraiser, again trained by the Hayes Dabernig team, and it was a winner a couple of starts back at Pakenham and a good last start placing as well.
There is going to be discussions whether or not he will run from the outside barrier. There is an option to run him next week, but again, the lure of this restricted race, really good prize money. There's not many times they'll be running in a $500,000 race unless he does exceed his or meets his expectations if they have high expectations of him. But he looks really good and solid. But he's not straightforward. He doesn't leave the gates that well. He's a horse that I've spent a lot of time with, typical to his sire Helmet, and he's a horse that likes to dominate. So Caulfield, there's always been the theory you don't want to work too hard up the hill from the 1,600-metre start. So it looks like it looks like he might be safe for next week, but I'm not going to make that call. That I'll be making it. They just asked me to do my speed maps, and we'll work it out if I go home a little bit earlier or he goes around for the big money race. But if he does, he will need some luck. But he would be very, very competitive.
Okay, yeah, looks like a really strong book of rides, Craig. You gave us a treble last time. Let's hope you can get another one on Saturday.
Well, that's what they say. The winners are grinners, but losers aren't with you guys.
Good on you, Craig.
Thanks, guys.